we are back for a midweek episode for the podcast. Episode 108 or 109, I think now for the show. I have one of the most talented guards out in the Southern California area. We got Jon Mani coming from Beverly Hills High School. Appreciate you coming on, man. How you doing?
Doing great. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, we were supposed to do it a little bit earlier. You said LA traffic's brutal. Before we get into some basketball talk, I've been out to LA a handful of times. Um, I got two questions about it. First, how bad truly is the traffic living there?
Terrible. Like you don't want to experience something. Never want.
And the second one, what is your go? I don't know if you're a burger guy. I am. I had Burgers 99 when I was out there for spring break last year. That was pretty
Okay.
fire. If you have a go-to burger spot, what is it? Or what's your go-to food spot in LA?
In and out is a go-to. Like
Oh,
necessity to go there. And Burger Lounge is like underrated, but it's really good.
yeah, I've had that before. My girlfriend went to CUI for swim last year.
Okay.
And the first place when I flew out there for the first time, and she took me to Burger Lounge because she said it was the best burger she's had. So
Yeah,
for
underrated
people
for
for people that are going in that Southern California area, make sure to go check out Burger Lounge.
Burger
Um,
Lounge.
let's get into the show and the questions I got for you. Y'all finished the season 18-9, took care of business against a lot of teams, in
Yeah.
your area this year. In your words, in your mind, how do you feel you and the rest of your guys did this season?
I mean, I thought we had a great year. We started off really strong. We had, I think, like five game win streak in the beginning of the season against some solid teams. We started off really good. Um, we had a few ups and downs throughout the season, but overall, I thought we had a great season. Kind of got unlucky towards the end, like playoff run. The game we lost to in the playoffs. So we lost to Rancho Cucamonga, who was a solid
Mhm.
team. Um, I mean, it was unlucky game. Couldn't go on both ways, but I thought overall we had a great season, and we had, I think, one of the better teams that Beverly's ever had. So yeah,
I know we were talking a bit earlier because I was reading this article from LA Times. Your brother played
yeah,
last year for you. He was 6'9", so I'm sure he was one of the more of the big man facilitated on the defensive side of the ball. Him being gone now at UC Davis, was it a bit of an adjustment for the guys returning to kind of get into new roles and some, take even bigger steps and bigger roles for the team?
I mean, yeah, I mean he was such a big force. So like we relied on him sometimes when we needed a bucket, and like when we needed really score, like he was our go-to. He was our first guy. We just give it down to him in the post, or he can shoot the ball really, really well. One of the best I've seen. So we relied on him a lot. So yeah, it was an adjustment like going into the summer and like the season. So I thought we adjusted really well. But we relied on him a lot, and that I mean that was took a lot of time to adjust, but it went solid.
Yeah, so you talk about playoff. You guys lost to Rancho Cucamonga. I'm looking at
Yeah,
your schedule right now. 8-game win streak to start the year. And then
8 games.
what stuck out to me though, and I got a question about it though too, is how quickly you guys bounce back win wise after a handful of losses. Like I see you're playing in, it looks like a city tournament or something against Windward and
Yeah,
Palo Verdes, back-to-back losses, 64-56, 63-41. And then you guys seem probably pretty pissed off because you beat Liberty from Bakersfield for the Bakersfield area
yeah.
71-49. Talk to me, I'm sure you were looked at as one of the better players in your team, one of the guys that people look up to. How were you
Yeah.
able to take that leadership standpoint and really help your guys bounce back in those ways?
I mean, so we lost. They were both tough games. Windward game was tough, and I forgot the other team, but they were both tough games. And we just stayed as a team. We stayed as a unit, and I think that we all came together and realized that I mean, tough games. We're gonna lose some. We're gonna win some big games. Like it's just a few games and just a bump in the road. And that was our next step, was just to go kill. And I think that Liberty game was in Palm Springs, so we were on the road over there, and it was a great trip. I think we played a team right after that too. I think we won that game too. So I mean, it was a good little trip, and we bounced back really well. I think we stayed as a unit, so that was the main thing.
What things did you focus on most throughout the year? I was looking through your Instagram and I saw a lot of your tagged videos where you training with one specific guy,
Yeah.
working on your game a lot. What things did you focus on? What intangibles did you try to grow in to make your game bounce to the next level like you did throughout the entire year?
Um, I mean, I would say I was working with so I work with this guy named Breen Weeks, a phenomenal guy. I've known him for, I mean, the longest time, 8 years. We've been working, so like it's been like a grind for a long time. So I think the main thing we figured out earlier in the season is that I mean, teams are gonna adjust and they're gonna game plan. So like
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of games where I would get double team, even sometimes triple team, and like I think working out the double team basically like in the post, getting in the post, getting position in the post was the main thing. Like playing out the post, and then I mean just reading everything because like everything happened so fast with the double teams and triple teams,
Right.
and working out of the double teams and like in the post helped a lot because that was like you double, you just kick it to the open man. I mean, and then we just hammered our like the essentials, like the 1 drill pull up, 2 drill pull up, catch and shoot threes, deep threes, like a bunch of different things just to make sure like my game was sharp throughout the season and everything was just like flowing well.
I was watching one reel of you,
Mm,
and you drive to the mid range and pull up with a 1 foot mid range jumper, and it was wet. That
yeah,
seemed like one of your go-to shots. You have a
yeah.
quick release as well, like from all the things you're able to shoot right off the dribble, right like even in that catch and shoot type of situation too. How much does shooting play a major part in your game? And like what are the things that make how you shoot the ball so needed at the next level?
I mean, I think that shooting just expands my game. It really makes me a 3 level scorer. I can get downhill all the way to the basket. I have a phenomenal 1 drill pull up. I think it's something that the game is like losing that 1 drill pull up. I think
Mm-hmm.
I've I've like got really comfortable in that. And then I think shooting a three and even like the NBA three, the deeper three. So it's really like a 4 game type of scoring. But I think I really mastered like shooting three has really helped. Like they have to close out now. They can't like, side back. And I used to be like a whatever shooter, okay shooter, but I made sure like this year that I'm gonna make sure like I that three is a knockdown. Like they're gonna have to close down every single time. So I mean, shooting the ball just made them have to close out farther, and it just created more room in the key and stuff like that.
I'm sure also, when you go to some of these teams, like Inglewood and probably
Yeah,
others in the rougher areas, when they see a tall white kid with nice hair walk into the gym, they're like, "Oh yeah, this guy's got nothing. He's probably
no,
just some tall kid that can shoot from nowhere."
a bunch of stereotypes, but I mean, I think that every team has to watch film, so they watch film.
Right.
They knew they actually this year we usually do really well in our league. We usually don't really lose any games, but this year was a little challenging. They had a few better teams, but I mean, games we should have won. Nothing too big, but I mean, I think they understood when we came in the gym, like that I was their guy, and like they had to focus in on me. But yeah,
Before we get back to some of the other stuff I have for you, you talked about triple teams and double teams.
yeah,
Being that 6'6", one of the taller guys when you step on the court, you got a long wingspan, you're extremely lengthy, able to like, I'm
yeah.
sure your strides are just insane. How are you able not just to find your guy, the open man, for the corner three or the cutter, but also be able to like stretch out of that double team and even maybe even get an open shot or find your guy? What made that, or have you worked on that at all to, be able to add that to your game as well?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the season, like I think that watching film, kind of understanding um where like I was struggling, where like how I can read double teams kind of and even the triple teams sometimes. I think that I mean just watching film and then like really hammering it during our workouts every single day. Like and understanding the open space, finding like different I mean even ball fakes where it's a huge thing like
Right.
quick ball there's only one defender now, not two. I mean, just a bunch of different things that we kind of hammered down in our workout. Um, and I think that really helped. And watching film was a big thing too. So yeah,
You guys, you talked about being one of the better teams in your league, finished 8-2 in the Ocean League this year. Definitely one of the better teams, I would say, in your conference as well. What were some of
yeah.
the things you took away in getting major bounce back wins, like we talked about, being able to jump back into your normal play and normal win column throughout the rest of the season?
I mean, I would just say like we So Ocean League usually is like it's not a tough league. I mean, it's just we're on the roads a lot and it's far drives and it's not close to us. So like, I mean, like we just stuck together the whole time. Like everyone's together. We never really had any like, I mean, teammates like going away from what we just all like. We all wanted to win. That was the main goal, and I think everyone just stuck together. I mean, we took like 2 losses, which isn't like bad. We beat both teams. I'm pretty sure that we lost to. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was just like staying together and bouncing back and knowing that we all want to win. We all have one goal in common, and that's to win a state championship.
You averaged around that 25 point per game mark this season. Like we talked about before we got on, your first step and your aggressiveness were two things that stuck out to me, from the film about how you play. For people that are just finding out about you, how would you describe how you play to them?
I mean, very like effortless. I mean, it's gonna be like I can do a bunch of moves, dribble a bunch, like I can do that. But I mean, try, trying to find my spots on the floor and just really just get into those spots, and that's my main thing. Like I'm not gonna dribble a ton. Like I'll shoot the shit out of the ball. I'll do everything. I think, I mean, I can cuss on here, but I'll shoot the ball.
No, you're good.
I'll
You're just the first person that's cussed on the show.
I'll fall. But yeah, no, I mean I'll shoot the ball, get to my spots, and I mean like a true 3 level scorer that can really do it all. I think.
Yeah. What I was just saying, you're the first like guest. I've cussed on this show before, of course, but you're
Uh,
the first guest that were just like, I'll shoot the shit out of the ball. I mean,
yeah,
it showed. I mean, I know you're playing what club team are you playing with now? Cali All Stars or
Cali Stars is a extension of a SoCal Academy, so it's like the prep team. They have extension. That's an AAU team.
how much does that play to fact for UT being able to play with probably some of the better guys in that SoCal area? But how you play the game, are you able to complement others that play with you?
100%. Yeah, I think that that's something that a lot of people don't really know. I think that I can really come. I have a great passing ability that I
Mm-hmm.
mean I have a ton of, but I think I can pass it really well. I work really well with like a pick and roll with bigs and stuff like that. Just so like my brother was a big, and I can kind of read it. And I know what they like and stuff like that, where they kind of want the ball. So I think I can compliment bigs a ton and even guards too. I know what guards like. I feel like I watched a ton of film this past year, and I mean, playing with I had a point guard who was very well. His name is Jameson. I mean, playing with him like helped me kind of understand the game and like really know what guards like to do. And I mean, he's not like any other guard. He's like very very skilled, can finish at the rim. I mean, he's a great guy, but he helped me understand kind of what guards want. And he was a true point guard.
Mm.
He helped a lot.
Yeah, you got 6'6" point guard in your Instagram bio. So
Yeah,
I'm sure you're more of the ball handler for your high school team. Isn't it an
yeah.
adjustment club ball wise, having to maybe play more off the ball and more playing with a true point guard like him?
I mean, I played both. I played the 2 and the 1, so and even the 4 sometimes because I'm really good in the post. But I don't think it is really because I have the ball. Like the offense we run, I kind of have the ball in my hands a lot. So I mean, very similar. I don't think it really is a big adjustment.
So some film I watched of you, we talked about like your first step, but how aggressive you go towards the rim with your size. A lot of
Yeah,
people, since you're a thinner build, you're not like, I
yeah.
just had freaking Parker Jefferson a couple of weeks ago from Texas. He's like 6'10", 230. You're in
Okay.
that 6'6", 6'7", like probably what, 180, 185 range.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Around that.
how you're able to drive to the rim so hard and go at guys and get that foul or go up for the dunk or just like even do that little one step and then you're in your jumper in the mid range.
Yeah.
How were you able to make it so hard for defenders to guard you by not letting them take away, your shooting ability and your aggressiveness towards the rim?
I mean, just like I think that just expanding my game in every way. I think that I have the post, I can shoot it, I can go to the one dribble, I can go to the floater, just a bunch of different things that you really have to like play for everything. You can't just rely on me to do one thing.
Mm. From the trainers you've worked with, the coaches, you've had in the past and have now, I talked to you before we started recording.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Austin Reeds, and it's just a coincidence that you're from the
Yeah.
SoCal area. So of course where he plays. how you shoot the ball is very Kevin Herter like too. But from the people that have been around you, the people you look up to and how to evolve how you play, who are some people they say you play like?
Um, I've gotten a little Jason Tatum, a little
Mm.
Tyler Hero. I think is a big one. Um, I'm trying to expand my game like Kevin Durant. I mean, his handle at like that size, but I think those two, Jason Tatum and like Tyler Hero, are a big one.
Yeah, I definitely see the Tyler Hero, how you're able to spot up from anywhere too. Like we're talking about with your catch and shoot
Yeah.
ability. Um, being in that SoCal area, I ask usually a lot of my guests, like especially from out of state, what is basketball like where they are? I've heard NorCal, I've heard a little bit of SoCal too with Dallas, Washington, and Texas. But for you being in that local LA area, what is basketball like in the high school game, in the grassroots game that you've been able to play in?
I mean, it's exciting because there's so many good players out here. So like every night you're gonna go against a good player, and like I'm not sure how it is anywhere else, but like out here you're gonna play a good player every single night, and that's just exciting. I think the fans are. It's also a big thing. Like basketball is a huge thing out here, so I think there's a lot of media, a lot of stuff like that. So a lot of fans and stuff like that. And I think it's just a great environment every single night that you're gonna play at.
With you getting more media um attention, I
Yeah.
know how I found you was through shit, I forget who it was. It's like the Hoop Cycle maybe or something. He's a guy from the California area that posts like
Oh,
everybody he can um I'm pretty sure post. So
okay.
shout out to him because I don't think I would have found your game because of him. But
Yeah.
you getting a lot more media attention, schools, which we'll get into in a second.
Yeah.
How has that been for you? Has more colleges reached out because of you getting more publicity regarding, the Instagram and YouTube? What's it been like um, through this whole junior year and now into that spring summer sessions?
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I think that in the beginning, before there was a big tournament in Arizona actually called Section 7.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so that I had a few coaches recruit me before then, but after that, I mean, it's picked up a ton. It's picked up like almost like triple, quadruple the amount. Yeah, it's been like a huge like switch, which is really cool. I think I'm really grateful for that. I think that this year's like taught me a lot. I was injured my first 2 years, and that was tough. So like I was sat out my sophomore season due to ankle injury, and then my freshman year, we had a bunch of great guards, so it was tough to get playing time. Um, but now I feel like I can really show my true abilities, and it's been a great year. I think I learned a lot, and recruitment's gone up a ton, and everything's been great. Yeah,
Uh, like we talked about, you'll be considered one of the main top guards to go after in this 24 class in the California area. Through this spring with Cali Stars in the summer. Are you guys coming to Section 7? I'm assuming.
yeah, we should be coming to Section 7. So yeah,
Okay, okay, dope. With having offers already from Portland, which I know was your first one, University of Montana, Rice, and ASU. We'll talk about kind of the feelings you got when those came in. But my first question for you regarding that, what goals do you have for yourself throughout this spring and summer? And of course, we won't get into the senior year just because it's
yeah.
so far away. But what are some goals you have for yourself regarding spring, summer to take your game to the next level in basketball?
I mean, I just want to continue to prove myself. I think that's the main thing, like just proving myself right. And I think that others will understand kind of my game. I mean, I think that my goal is just to come out and kill every single person I see. Like I think that this year is like has been a good year. I want to continue that, and I want to and really just show coaches what I'm about. And I mean, show coaches like my true skill set that I think a lot of other people like not a lot of other people have, especially in SoCal. I mean, I think I'm one of the more skilled guards um, in my class. I think that's a big thing I want to show coaches.
When you got that first offer from Portland, which I gotta say, there's a lot of kids out here. I think there was like 3 kids today in Arizona that got offered by Portland.
Yeah,
Um, that's a good school. I know they have a lot of history with guys that were really good at the high school in the high school range
yeah,
and made it to there. How old were you when you got that offer, and what was the feeling like after that came in the mail?
yeah. I mean, I think 15 or
Damn.
15 or 16. I mean, yeah, it was my sophomore, well, my freshman after my freshman year, I think my freshman summer, I think. I'm not sure. Either sophomore summer or freshman summer. Um, Freshman summer, that's what it was. But yeah, I was stoked. I mean, I was really happy for a little bit. I'm like, I didn't think it was gonna come. It was right after, it was at section 7 actually. Me and my brother both got that offer. That was his first offer and that was mine. So I think that was really cool.
Looking at Montana, looking at Rice, looking at ASU, I'm not gonna ask you like where would you commit right now, but if it came down to those schools, who has been the more like aggressive towards you and or like the one trying to get you to come to play for them after your senior
Yeah.
year?
I mean, ASU recently just offered, so I think that's they're like, I mean, one like they're I don't want to say like, I mean, like they recently just offered, so like that's the school I've been talking to. I mean, Montana's been recruiting me for a really long time, and then Rice has been recruiting me for a long time too, and then Portland too. I mean, all the schools have been recruiting me really heavy, so I think that
Mm-hmm.
be a really tough decision. But I think I have another summer, so it's gonna be. I'm sure I get plenty more offers, hopefully, and I think that when that time comes, it'll be a good decision.
Well, John, I appreciate you coming on like always. Like how we always end every show, favorite on-court shoe. From the stuff I watched, it looked like the Kobe 6 a lot.
Kobe, hands down. Kobe hands down, but they gotta work on like the durability. I mean, that shoe breaks like once a week, so like I run through those. Yeah, I mean Kobe 6, hands down.
What size do you wear? Because I'm sure it's a hard size to get, and it's probably a pretty pricey shoe to
Uh,
get
very,
too.
very pricey, so I gotta go on eBay and get the used pairs. But I wear a 12 and a half, 13. I mean, it
Okay, so
depends.
not terrible.
No, not too big, honestly. But 12 and a half, 13, and like I think eBay is the go-to because like I can't buy a new pair. I can't afford that. I mean, I think the used pairs are like spot.
Well, yeah, I gotta say, for people that are listening to this, that's a very good thing, important thing that he said. If you are a basketball player who is young and is probably going to continue to grow, buy used shoes on eBay because I
And
looked at StockX and they're
they're
stupid.
they're already broken in too, so you can't complain.
Do you have to
Hopefully,
wear like insoles, or do you just rock with whatever the Kobe's got?
I mean, it depends. Like Kobe 6s, I'll just rock whatever they got. But like some other shoes, I need insoles. But I think the Kobe 6 is just like the greatest shoe of all time. I can't complain. Everything about it.
Any specific colorways you rock with most?
Let me see if I have any of you here. No, I mean the red ones, the red ones, and the white ones. The white and yellow ones are really hard, and then the red ones are really hard. I just got the I don't know what you call them, but like they're black with a blue stripe. And the first time I wore them, so ripped off. So I was like pissed about it. They're an old one. They're really expensive one, but I have to sell them now. So yeah.
Geez. Well, John, I appreciate you coming on and chopping it up. Anything to shout out before we get out of here?
Nah, just be yourself.
Hey, that's a great message.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on, man. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Excited to come watch you at Section 7 this year. And yeah, man, we'll keep in touch. But yeah, wish you nothing but the best of luck and hope to hear from you soon.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.